Hello folks, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In this video, we will be discussing a current affair topic presented to you by your faculty, Sushma KP. So what is the topic that we are looking into today? It is about menstrual leave debate. So what happened was recently a petition was filed in front of Supreme Court asking for mandatory menstrual leave. Now this was heard by a two-judge bench including Chief Justice of India. Now Supreme Court has raised few concerns regarding making a mandatory leave policy for menstruation. What are those and what exactly did they decide upon is what we will be discussing in the course of the video. Now, if you're someone who enjoys local news, national news, international news, then subscribe to Legacy IAS Academy channel because we provide deep insights into the topic. Coming back to this. So what is the issue here? Yes, the petition has claimed menstruation is an important issue because it gives a lot of, let's say, absenteeism versus presentism. What is absenteeism versus presentism? Either women are taking leave because they're unable to bear the periods pain, heavy flow, etc. In one case, or in the second case, they are just physically coming because they can't take leave, but the productivity is decreasing. Also, according to Indian Constitution, Article 15 of 3 promotes for making special laws and provisions for the betterment or welfare of women. So, according to that, why don't we make a law that tells mandatory menstrual leave? So, in that way, they can rest in that period of time and they can come back and the productivity will be higher, is what the petitioner stated. Now, how is the Supreme Court viewing this? See, Supreme Court has held that just recently is where the women employment ratio has slowly started increasing. Now, if we bring in a mandatory policy like this, what would happen? It would lead for people hiring women less. It may impact. We are not telling that yes, this will be the reason, but it might be also one of the causative factors to prefer more employees rather than female employees because they are seen as getting paid off and the employment or productivity at that point of time decreases is what they are seeing. First thing. And second thing, do not put everything in just one bracket as to one size fits all approach. Now, when you're saying women should be given a menstrual leave, it is almost like, first and foremost, this is brought about in order to remove the tabooism around this topic, but this itself may create certain sense where people are made to feel like they are less productive on their menstrual days. Understanding? Another aspect about your one size fits all approach is this also gives an opinion like the women on these particular days. Now, when we're telling the women, all women, understanding? But in reality, some women experience no physical discomfort whatsoever, but some women experience severe pain and bleeding. So you cannot just blanketly do something and which in turn might affect the employability of women. So what has judiciary suggested? Instead of us making a mandatory policy, why not let us leave it to a voluntary policy? What is this voluntary policy? If the state themselves is going to do something, example, your Bihar. Bihar has a policy which has there from 1992 onwards where government female employees will get 2 paid menstrual leave per month. Understanding? Now there are many, your Kerala also. Kerala has given compensation for attendance for your college girls for the menstruation. Now whereas your private companies like your Swiggy, Zomato, Byju's, all these have given a voluntary leave policy. So when it is voluntary, it is much more preferable than when you make something mandatory. This is what your judiciary is trying to tell. Alongside that, they are trying to tell just do not go for the leave policy only. There are other alternatives that you can make sure that you can balance the absenteeism versus presentism and also make sure the productivity is also online. Means how you provide restroom access, okay, and also you provide your sanitary products, okay, or work from home concept. So these kind of things are a better alternative than rather than just giving a mandatory policy. And also judiciary has hinted and highlighted that it is the role of executive and legislature to do anything in this. All right. So what is a menstrual leave? It's as simple as it is a planned leave guaranteed to a woman during her menstruation. Now, first and foremost, to all women need menstrual leave. Some experience pain, some experience no physical discomfort. It depends on person to person. Now, the debate that we are speaking about is about your health and equality. Your equality doesn't mean you will treat everyone equally. This concept of your substantive equality will come into picture here. So what has Supreme Court of India told? The mandatory menstrual leave has been shown concerns regarding to leading of hiring discrimination, productivity bias. Women are made to feel, or this is. So what the Supreme Court is saying, like we told, hiring discrimination, productivity bias, gender stereotyping. What is this gender stereotyping? Means something like as to yes, women can't be productive on these particular days. Okay, so you let's say you go higher up the ladder, promotions, all those will get affected because of this kind of aspect of giving mandatory leave. Understanding it is more like it is impacting the career growth of women. Now, according to few studies, let's say your British Medical Journal had conducted studies in the southern India of Tamil Nadu, where many students, female students, were asked as to how do they feel about the concept of a menstrual leave policy. 54.6% of them held that, and in fact, majority of them held that it would be better if they had a menstrual leave policy. But even if sometimes they are struggling with the pain and not having, let's say, that because of a bias or fear or stigma, they don't take leave. Okay, so they prefer if leave was given, it would be better. Understanding? But at the same point of time, 43% of them feared career impact. How would it be if they kept taking leave, or it would be in a way of showing that this particular, it's almost seeing like menstruation as a medical issue. Okay, and another thing is like we discussed, absenteeism versus presentism. You are taking absent because of extreme pain in order to deal with the heavy flow bleeding and everything, or you are not getting a leave means you're just physically present, but you're not able to be that productive. According to your global studies, it says that there is 9 days which goes into unproductive cycle because of your menstruation per year. Okay, so the impact of your menstruation varies from person to person. Understanding? So when we say impact varies from each person to person, not every particular, now if you say menstruation, it doesn't mean every woman faces the same type of issues. Some women may have a lot of pain, some women may not have any symptoms that affect their physical work. So the one size fits all approach of mandatory leave will affect the overall progress of women's employment. And what are the conditions that are causing your severe pain? Your endometriosis, fibroids, hormonal disorders. Now, when you provide, let's say, your counseling, or you try to identify these issues, you can provide it in a way that it will help them and not be against them. Understanding? Now, if at all you give your menstruation leave policy, like if you mandate it, then it will lead to hiring bias. The wage gap widens because they're telling like, okay, these people are getting more week offs or holidays, then how can they be expected to pay like the other male counterpart? And this could also be with respect to promotion bias, and further it will reinforce your stereotyping. Now, when we say with respect to childcare, it has benefited the women in trying to support with respect to your family and workplace. But at the same thing for a male parent who is willing to do the let's say child caring facilities, but he is not given holiday, again now raises the questions on that. So instead of giving a mandatory leave, there are other solutions like providing hygienic toilets, work from home concepts, free sanitary products, or making available to these kind of things and accessible, and flexible hours, creating a rest and wellness room, and also If at all the situation is very worse, then you do have a medical leave. Okay, and see, there are many countries like Japan, South Korea, Indonesia, Zambia, all of them provide menstrual leaves. But if you see with respect to, let's take Japan and your South Korea itself, women less than 1% of them use this concept of menstrual leave, fearing where it will have repercussions on their career. Like I told you, in India, there is no central policy with regarding to menstruation, but many states like Bihar from 1992 onwards has been offering menstrual leave policy for government women workers. Now there are some private companies like we discussed, Byju's, Zomato, Swiggy, they offer voluntary paid leave. So what are the arguments for and against with respect to menstrual leave? Menstruation is a genuine health problem or a health issue, but that does not mean everyone has it. Understanding. And second thing is, productivity improves better when a woman gets to, instead of being just presentism, if they are genuinely rested, then the productivity is obviously tend to increase, and this upholds women's dignity in the workplace, and this is one step towards gender justice. What are the arguments against the mandatory leave policy? It may lead to hiring discrimination, and it will further reinforce the gender stereotypes. It may affect the wage gaps, promotions, and also this will hamper their career growth in general. This is all the possibilities that we can see from both sides. Now what do you think, should there be a mandatory leave policy for your menstruation? Whatever your suggestions are, comment in the comment box below. With this, we have come to the end of the content. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, share it along with your friends. Thank you.